You know, Chieftain, the other day I was thinking, Pontiacs haven't had 6-volt batteries since 1954. That's 70 years ago this year. Between you and me, I think it's time we modernize just a bit. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Today is the big day. The day the Chieftain goes from the primitive 6-volt system to the upgraded 12-volt system. Now, hopefully we have everything we need today, including brand new DSLR camera, so we get some better recording abilities. Our box of 12-volt conversion goodies, a bunch of tools, and our 51 Pontiac, looking good as usual. So I'm going to cut to another Caden. He's going to explain all the 12-volt conversion things to you guys, and then you're going to come back with me and we're going to get to it. So see you guys in a bit. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. On this week's episode, we are going to be, as you read in the title, 12-volt swapping our 1951 Pontiac Chieftain. Now, there are a few ways you can 12-volt swap a car. The first one is to simply take out the old engine and powertrain and put in a modern powertrain system, all 12-volt, fuel injected, coil on plug, all that fancy stuff. That's one way to do it. A little expensive, need some fabrication work done there, but that is what most people do when they get a classic car. They just put a new powertrain in it. Second option is to go online and buy a kit that is specifically made for your vehicle. You can buy them on all sorts of different websites. Typically, they run north of $600, $700, $800 depending on the car and the options that you want with the kit, whether that's for like upgraded AC or a electronic ignition instead of old points and everything. They can be very pricey. I looked into this. I was going to do it, but that was one of the main things stopping me from doing that. But today we're going to go over something that anyone can go do if they have a couple $100, a local parts store, and a means to get something done. So because I work at a parts store, I have a slight advantage over getting these parts for a 12-volt conversion. So I'm going to go through the box here and go over everything you need to do your very own 12-volt conversion. Now, starting with the internet, because that's not everything you can get at a parts store, unfortunately, but it's just the way it is. First thing first, we have a bunch of rectifier diodes. Now, you can go on Amazon and look up 50-volt 1-amp diode, and you can only buy them in packs of 100 for about $5. Now, we only will be using one of these diodes, so 99 have nowhere to go currently. The purpose of the diode is to help produce a larger amount of amperage at a lower RPM, which a lot of classic cars will run. So we put one of these in line with our alternator. You'll see that, and it should help us charge a little bit better at a lower RPM. So we got a bunch of diodes there, and we'll show you how to wire these in and everything like that, so don't worry there. The next thing is a voltage reducer. Now these are used for the gauges in your car and some other things here and there, but this particular style here is called a Runts style voltage reducer or resistor. Looks something like this. They go in line with the gauges, so in this case I only have one. Some people say that you can get away with, depending on the car, by putting it only in the fuel gauge if the rest are pretty much all mechanical gauges, or not all just digital, like an actual fuel line runs into the gauge, so on and so forth. So I've heard that you can do them with only the fuel gauge. I only got one, so we're going to find out if that's true or not. This little thing right here runs about $23.99 on eBay under the Speedway Motors account before shipping and tax. So about 23 bucks for one of these. You can buy them in 4-packs, or a little bit cheaper. You can get them in bulk. So if I do need to end up doing that, I will do that, but we will find out the hard way. So resistor, voltage reducer there. And the last and most important thing for our 12-volt conversion is going to be our universal generator to alternator mounting bracket. So because our straight 8 has a generator initially, as you guys have seen me fumble with many times before, we need to get something long enough to mount in place of the old generator mounting bracket arms. So this right here has adjustable points, as you can see right there, a bunch of screws right there. And then that'll pivot on the engine of our car, and the alternator will sit and cradle in here, this spot right here, and you can put shims in there to mount it and everything, tighten it down. This right here cost me $42.99 before shipping and tax from Steiner Tractor Parts. So they actually sell these for old tractors, old 6-volt tractors, or just tractors that have generators that they'd rather put an alternator onto. So at first I thought these were going to be really expensive, but they've gone down over the years in the car community and tractor community, I guess, to 40 bucks. So this particular one has different spacers and whatnot for Ford alternators, Chrysler alternators, but the current setup right now is for a GM 10SI, 12SI style alternator, so that's what I have it kind of pre-set up here. So when we put this on the car, we're going to make sure this actually mounts to where it should and pivots and everything, so we'll get to see that in action as well. So you'll need a mounting bracket there, or sometimes you can buy a generator alternator. So somebody takes an old alternator, or an old generator, sorry, and they put the internals of an alternator inside of it, so it fits exactly how the stock one would have fit, with no aftermarket pulleys or anything like that to change out. Other thing there, the last thing I meant to get, sorry, is a new 5/8 pulley for the 10SI alternator. The ones they sell at the parts store, they are nowhere near 5/8. They're way too skinny to fit the old Pontiac 5/8 belt, and instead of going and swapping out the water pump pulley, harmonic balancer pulley, I decided to go on eBay and get a 5/8 to 7/8, whatever the other biggest size of belt is, adapter pulley for about 17 bucks before shipping and tax. This is actually the old alternator off the original alternator, on the one from the parts store. So this is actually the skinnier one. I already have it on the alternator, you'll see here in a bit. Literally all it is the one bolt, zip it off, pull it off, slap the new one on, and you're good. So yeah, you will need to get a new pulley for the one alternator. Here's the bolt for that. And there's the fan. This fan actually wouldn't, it might not work. This came with the kit. I found that when the alternator's angled just a certain way, this thing doesn't clear, so in case it needs to be angled a weird way when it's on the car, this one won't clear, so I just kept the one that came with the alternator on the alternator. So you'll need a pulley kit. Nothing wrong with that. Drop my package there. Alright, so now on to the stuff that you guys can go down to your local O'Reilly's or AutoZone, whatever, and pick up yourself. So on the list here, we have the most obvious thing, bulbs. So the main bulbs I kind of want to mention here are going to be the headlight bulbs. I just have standard 7-inch Sylvania Silver Star bulbs right here. You're going to need 2 of them, obviously. These are the 7-inch H6024s, and these just happen to be in the Silver Star variant. So there's a slight blue hue to them you might be able to make out on the camera. Just get one out. Okay, so you can see a slight blue hue to these ones here. This makes it a wider light. Every bulb in the car has to be changed over 12 volts. That includes the 2 headlights, turn signal bulbs, rear, front, brake lights, all your gauge cluster bulbs, clock light, map light, trunk light, depending on how many bulbs you have. Some cars will have more than others. Chevy didn't have a lot of bulbs compared to Pontiac and Cadillac and everything, so just depends on the car. Now, when looking up these bulbs, at least for headlights and whatnot, you can look up an E57 Chevy, whatever, has two big glass headlights. That's pre-54. Should all be 12 volt with these size of headlights. These ones here are only about $14.99 a piece. They're the Silver Star version, so you can actually get the regular standard brightness one for much, much cheaper, half the price. So everything's very, very affordable. So set those aside here. And then the other bulbs. I don't have all the bulbs here with me right now, but I just have the kind of the basics. Headlights, rear turn signal, brake light bulbs here. 1157s, 1157 ambers just for the fronts. Yeah, not even $8 for a pair, $4 for a pair if it's cheaper than that. The next thing we're going to have on here will be our ignition coil. So the particular one I picked out is going to be a Pertronix flamethrower. The only reason I really picked this one out is because it is a nice, beautiful chrome. And you know the saying, chrome gets you home. So I just had to go with this one here. Downsides, only a 90-day warranty, so not the best warranty. All the ones that the parts store sells, like we sell at O'Reilly's, it's just going to be a standard $30 one with lifetime warranty, and it'll be like a blue in color, black. So if you want something more practical, get one of those. But if you want something a little more flashy, go something like this. Things that I've mentioned about ignition coils, you'll find ones on the internet that say they can be used without a external resistor. So you just need to, all you got to do is put them on and call it a day, and you're good to go. After doing some research, I found that a 12 volt system needs about 3-ish ohms of resistance in the circuit. So this right here is a 1.5 ohm coil. The newer the Pertronix, the lower the resistances go. I don't know why they do this, but what I can tell you is that this is 1.5 ohms. Any other coil you buy from the parts stores, the standard house brand coils the cars came with originally, are also going to be 1.5 ohms. All together you need about 3-ish, 3+ ohms of resistance, which is what the ballast resistor is for. What is it going to be? What this is for? This is about 1.5 ohms of resistance as well. So together they make 3. The reason you want a high resistance on a standard points ignition system is because if you have low resistances, like close to 1 or 0, you risk burning out your points quicker than you would with a high resistance system. So this ballast resistor here is about $14.99. This resistor here is about $14.99 before tax and everything. So $14. You can get these for like $20. Not even, like I said, it's all affordable. Together they make about 3 ohms of resistance right there, which is perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and run the chrome coil and the resistor in the circuit. Of course, you guys will see all that in action, so no need to worry about that. Again, everything the parts store has, you can order these if you want a fancy one for the parts store. But yeah, flamethrower, beautiful, beautiful chrome. Chrome is my weakness, so if I can get it in chrome, I'm going to get it in chrome. That's just plain and simple. Okay, next thing here is some little odds and ends. We're going to have a new flasher. The old school 6-volt mechanical flasher will burn out, so we need and it'll flash hyper fast, if not at all. So we need to get a better flasher. My Chieftain is a 3-prong style flasher, 3-terminal. So I went up front, looked in the store, got the first 3-prong that I saw here, EL13. This thing's not even $18.99, so about $19-20 for one of these. You can get cheaper, non-heavy duty ones, but this is just for LEDs. If you want to do LEDs, they can handle higher loads, so that's what that's for. You got a new cigarette outlet here because the old one is, if you've ever seen an old 50s car cigarette outlet, they are bigger, they're way bigger, so we need to take that out and put it in modern ones. We can run heaters, all your fancy lights, like your car charger, your phone chargers, so on and so forth. All the accessories we need one of these. This is not even $5, So those are out front in the store, so you're readily available to get those. The next thing here is the alternator socket. Now this here is just a regular socket. It's not even $5 either, so, and we sell these out front. It's a standard 2-wire GM style. It's plugged right in. This wire goes to the ends up going to the battery or circuit, and this goes to the a reference voltage, so white and red. Like I said, not even $5. Warranty's fine on that as well. Just plugs right in, and we'll wire all the things into this, so you'll see this being used as well. So this you can get in the parts store as well. You can buy ones on the internet that have a built-in resistor, or diode, sorry. Built-in diode are like $20-$30, so I figured we'll just make one ourselves for less than $5. So that's what we're gonna do. We already got some just insulated connectors for when we wire some of the stuff in here. $5. You can get other ones too, so not a big deal at all. Another odd end here we have is a 12-volt horn relay. So depending on the car, some people say you can leave the old 6-volt relay on there and your horns will be twice as loud. I just don't want to risk burning them out because I quite like my loud horns, how they are. So if I can try to save them, I will. I hate to burn them out and try to find new ones. It's probably impossible. So I'm going to not risk that. And I just figured out which horn relay was the most similar to my original Pontiac one. 3 terminals here, mounts like this. You can just have the parts person look up horn relay and you can sit and scroll and look at them with them. But this relay here was $14. So $14 for a nice little horn relay, just in case. We might test it out with the 12-volt on the 6-volt relay to see how loud it really is, but otherwise I'm not going to chance it, so just got one of those as well. Now the last thing you get at the parts store is going to be your alternator. The alternator we have picked out here is a standard GM 10SI alternator. Go to the parts counter person, ask for a 1980 Chevy with the 5.7, and ask them to show you the options. So the one in particular is going to be actually a brand new one. This one here runs about 103 before tax and everything. So excuse me. So in here runs about 103, about $100 before tax and everything like that, cord charge and whatnot. This is the brand new one though, so it'll be the most expensive one the store has available, readily available for the GM 10SIs. You can get a reman unit for about $70, so you can get cheaper ones. You can get more expensive ones. You can get chrome-plated ones, optional 80, 100 amperage ones, 120 amp ones. This one here is just a standard 60 amp, I believe. I don't plan on running any crazy circuits quite yet, so this will be just fine for what we have going on. So I'll open this up here. I'll show you the new pulley on it as well. So that's what it looks like there. You see the N for new. Got the big, huge 5/8 pulley there. It is massive compared to that skinny little original one there. So yeah, and like I said, this is the one bolt. Take it off, put the old pulley on, new pulley on, call it a day. So on the back here, you'll see I have a just a standard ring terminal. You'll need one of these as well. You can spend a whole pack for like $5. I have this one going to the red post here, just a standard little ring terminal. That'll be later for the wiring, so that'll be used just fine when we get into it. Some more things to add here. I'll show you how this works. So this pivots on the engine. This top bolt, or the top bracket side here, is where it mounts on the tensioner bracket. It already has a bolt included, so you don't gotta worry about finding a new bolt for that. Unless it's too short or something, then you might have to. Then the bottom side, the thicker side here, is what's gonna mount to our universal mounting bracket. This bolt slides out on bolts, put it in, slide it through, tighten it down. The hope here is that we're able to use the original belt, not original belt, but the stock size belt with what we have going on. This thing, pivots one way and this thing will have a pivot on its own. So hopefully I'm able to fit that in there and tighten it down, but I'm also worried that the old tensioner bracket will be of no use. It'll be too short or something, or too not angled enough, but we'll get there when we get there. I'm hoping we won't run into that, but we will learn the hard way. It's the first time for everything. Now, the final thing, the most important thing in the 12 volt conversion here, I'm going to set this aside, is going to be, I forgot one thing. Another thing we'll need is going to be this here, a fuse. You're going to want to run a fuse that's about, I don't know, I believe it's 120% of the rated amperage of this. So this is about 60 amps. This is an 80 amp inline fuse. You can go to the parts store up front and buy one of these little things, not even $10. And this will be going in line from our red on this, the red post on this, up and through our circuit that powers everything. This will be in line with there. Safety first, you don't want to burn your car to the ground, so a couple bucks here. And I just have, again, 2 ring terminals on both sides. This will go into the rest of the car, and this will go from the positive post on the starter solenoid you'll see coming from this. So 80 amp fuse wired in. Show you how to do that as well. And this is, I have it in the way so in case the fuse does burn out, take these 2 little like 6mm bolts off and put a new fuse in less than a minute. So safety first, guys. Don't want to burn your classics to the ground for no reason. So now the most important thing with the 12 volt system is going to be, bear with me here, your battery. So this here is a handy dandy Optima red top. Now this is an AGM battery. It's mostly made for, racing and everything. Like you can mount it sideways, upside down, on its back, on its side, all sorts of crazy ways. Because it's all lead acid. There's no lead acid in here. It's all on absorbed glass mat. So it's very, very heavy. I'm not a big fan of modern day Optimas. I just happened to score this one. It's from March of 23 when a customer brought it in thinking it was ruined. It was frozen, rock solid. Ice formed on it, solid. He was in a pinch, needed a new one, so we just gave him a new one. He went on his way. I figured, you know what? I'm gonna try to save it. I thought it back out, and long story short, it works. So this is gonna be my battery of choice because it cost me nothing. So you might not get lucky. You definitely don't need. In fact, I'd recommend not buying an Optima. The quality of these things has gone downhill greatly over the past decade and a half. They're not what they used to be, which is just, it sucks. It happens. They're cool and everything, but that's just how big corporations get. If you'd be fine getting a 34 group series, just a regular battery if you want. You can get a cheap like $140 one, 1-year warranty, or you can get like a $210 one with 3-year warranty. Honestly, if this one fails, I'm gonna do that, and I get them for cheaper, so it is what it is. Otherwise, if you want to have the stock size of battery, trying to make it look more stock, the Pontiacs in particular have the very long, a very long tractor style battery. In parts stores, you can get those in 12 volt just fine. So if you want to keep the stock look, you're more than welcome to get one of those as well. If not, you can go to Walmart too and get them for even cheaper batteries. But you will need a 12 volt battery to power your rig. So yeah, this right here is going to be the main components. If we need anything else along the way, we will get it from the parts store or fabricate something along the way. All of which you'll see and we'll mention in the very end of the rest of the video. So, without further ado, let's get this stuff on the car and let's modernize.